Gonna go through what we're doing down at the creek after the cyclone. So walking down our little alley here. I'll switch the camera across. So little creek here, and basically you can see all the erosion that's taken place. Basically this all used to be walkable up this little bank here, and the creek has been completely eroded out here. This is kind of a dry creek bed, but the dry creek bed kind of used to be on this side there, just over where the creek is flowing. But now, because these trees have kind of been knocked over out of the way, it just hasn't allowed the bank to survive since that's occurred. So imagine a big tree being here, as big as this one over there. This is probably the next tree that's probably going to go in the next event. As you can see, all the soil around the base of it is completely gone. It won't take much during the next flooding event for this tree to go. So that's the negative, but I guess there is some positives. I have been working down here, and I guess I'll start from the top up here. So this is our little ramp down here. Now I've been able to get a chainsaw and cut this branch, actually make it down here with equipment that I need. But I have cleared this rocky section down here. You can see I've taped it off with this green tape. So coming around here, got the green tape from the bottom, but cleared out all the weeds, and I've planted these native rockery plants, and they're starting to flower. So I've grown all these through propagation, mainly cuttings, and this is basically a native that's going to flower. And you can see I've planted them all through here, and if you can imagine the whole slope being filled with these lovely white and pink flowers, it's going to look amazing. Here's one that's coming through as well. So I've just used the green tape to kind of mark the area of where I'm going to keep on top of in terms of establishing these natives, and essentially keep the weeds or the ground covers out of this area, and then move out of this area and then face the challenges of the more slopier areas. So some more damage from the flooding. You can see that this tree has been knocked over. So the flooding event actually came up to this level here, and it was enough to kind of basically push over this tree a bit. This is actually rocks that I've put in previously to stop the same thing from happening. So you can see how it's on a little bit of a bend there. And what kind of happened to this last tree is there was a fallen down tree on top of it. I was kind of growing it across the top of it, and then the floodwaters had taken that stump and put it all down here, and that's where it kind of got stuck. So you can imagine the force of the river it would take to move that tree debris down to there, leaving me kind of with this eroded landscape. What I am going to do, and it's kind of a replication of what I've been doing on the other side. So these are my planks that I use to get the mower across these kind of very uneven rocky sections here. Essentially what I've been doing is planting these native sledges, and basically these hold soil. So basically when a flooding event occurs, they're able to keep the soil in place, and it's really protected this bank during this last event. But you can see it natively over the other side of the creek. See how their side of the creek hasn't really fared much erosional damage. It's because of all these native sledges that are kind of growing naturally in these areas here, even though this section of the property was underwater up to this sign level. So if you can imagine that the water level was up to where that sign is, and how much water was torrenting through this section, all these like local creek banking natives have stayed in place, while I guess some of the more less strong rooted structures have kind of been pushed along and caused this erosion here. So I think my plan going forward will be to do something similar like I've done over here, and I've kind of haven't mowed it yet, but essentially imagine a bank protection along there. I'm going to do the same thing along this side as soon as I get the plants to propagate and plant into this section, because I don't want to go to the effort of repairing this landscape and just having another event occur. I really need to work with the environment and the challenges of, I guess, the changes in the climate.